I'm a writer and journalist by trade. I spent most of the last 10 years focused almost exclusively as a journalist in looking for solutions to the defining issues of our time on climate and energy, and then presenting those solutions, hopefully in an accessible manner that everyone can agree is a great way to be moving forward and a vision of the future we can work on together. And I began that journey in part because as a young journalist, I was very, very passionate about environmental issues, particularly climate change, which I believed then and still believe now is the defining environmental issue, really probably the defining public policy issue of our time. How we respond to the climate challenge is going to determine whether we succeed or fail in this century, and it cannot be overestimated how important it is that we get this right. Around the time I was beginning work on my second book, though, a book called The Geography of Hope, I realized that I just couldn't bring myself, I just had my first child had just been born, I couldn't bring myself to look at what was failing, what was being lost any longer. I knew we had to move towards solutions. We had to figure out what comes next. And so I began, really kind of a series of investigations that led to 2 books and a speaking career, and basically led me to where I'm sitting right now, which is that I decided the solutions are so close at hand. There is so much opportunity waiting for us if we begin to address these as opportunities and not as costs to be shared, that I decided, give me a megaphone and I'll talk into it. Give me a soapbox, I'll stand on it. I will do what I can to talk to these issues and to bring these issues to as widely as I can, and to really spread the word that there's enormous opportunity to be had by dealing with this stuff seriously. Now, given that this is my topic as a journalist, I frequently run into what I think of as the Calgary question, which is, how does a guy who writes best-selling books on sustainability wind up in Calgary? And there's this kind of supposition involved in that you couldn't possibly be as concerned if you lived in Calgary about these issues, or that maybe the knives would be out around me from the industry. And of course, we all know nothing could be further from the truth. And that's why I think this election, this by-election here in Calgary Centre, represents such an enormous opportunity for us to send a message and really to talk about what Calgary is now and what it needs now. We know that the energy industry here in Calgary is our bread and butter industry, and we know that it is going to be providing a vital resource to the entire country and to the world for many years to come. But we also know that we can only do that if we are being absolutely the most responsible stewards of the environment that we possibly can, and that we are using that precious one-time gift to begin thinking about where we go next and what that sort of diversified, sustainable energy future looks like. And really, if we as Calgarians would like to make it absolutely clear that we are ready for that challenge and that we can actually meet that challenge better than anyone, because who understands energy, the ins and outs of energy, its needs, its costs, and its benefits better than Calgarians? If we want to send a message as Calgarians about where we want to go, what more powerful message could we possibly send than to send the second Green MP in Canadian history to Parliament? Think how powerful, how unexpected that would be, how much attention that would bring to the city, and the way the city has, a progressive heart always has, and that heart is beating strong. More than that, at a time when Parliament, right this moment, is really full of nothing but a very, very immature shouting match about climate and energy issues, what if there was someone who could speak to both sides? This has been my career to date, has been writing popular books, speaking to everyone from Green Calgary to the Canadian Association of Petroleum Professionals. I can speak to both sides. I think we need someone who can begin a new conversation that gets everyone involved and puts everything on the table. And I really think the best way to send that message right now is to elect a Green MP in Calgary Centre. So thank you all for your time, and I do hope we can earn your vote.